The Galactic Concord did not fear fleets. Fleets were predictable. Fleets were logical. Fleets followed doctrine, supply chains, tactical formations, and measurable threat projections. When the Concord detected a mobilization of warships, admirals ran simulations. Admirals adjusted countermeasures. Economists calculated the acceptable loss ratios. Politicians issued ultimatums wrapped in civility. War was unpleasant. War was expensive. War was manageable. But this was wrong. The holographic projection in the center of the high assembly chamber flickered, stabilizing into the image of a single vessel drifting at the edge of the Concord's exclusion zone. One ship. No escort, no support craft, no visible defensive grid, no reinforcement signatures hiding in fold space. Just one human warship. The chamber hummed with overlapping frequencies of alien speech. Carapaces clicked, tendrils twitched, light organs pulsed in irritated patterns. Supreme Arbiter Keltharan adjusted his mantle of office, the crystalline filaments chiming softly as he leaned forward. "Confirm," he said, voice translated into a neutral harmonic. "The Terran Union has dispatched a single vessel in response to our ultimatum?" The tactical overseer's projection shifted colors in discomfort. "Confirmed. Long-range scans verify no additional mass shadows within 12 light minutes, no hyperspace signatures, no cloaked emissions, no microfold disturbances." A murmur swept the chamber. They had demanded surrender. The Terran Union had refused. The Concord had mobilized a deterrence fleet of 312 warships to demonstrate the futility of resistance, and humanity had sent one ship. The vessel rotated slowly on the projection. It was inelegant. Concord warships were crescents, spirals, crystalline lattices, elegant curves shaped by centuries of aesthetic philosophy intertwined with functional gravitic harmonics. The human ship was a blade, long, angular, brutal. A forward spine extended like a spear, massive engine clusters dominated the rear, armored in layered plating instead of harmonized shielding filaments. It looked less like a diplomatic envoy and more like a weapon someone had forgotten to sheath. Designations scrolled beside it in Terran script. TUS Resolute. Ambassador Viral, the Concord's diplomatic liaison to the Terran frontier, leaned forward. "This is posturing. Humans are emotionally reactive. This is symbolic defiance. They intend to arrive dramatically with reinforcements once we escalate." "Or," Keltharan replied evenly, "they misunderstand the scale of our mobilization." "They cannot. Our fleet is visible across half the sector." Indeed it was. Beyond the assembly station's viewports, space glowed with the faint ion trails of hundreds of Concord vessels, forming a sphere of overwhelming force around the contested system. The human colony world below, Eden's Reach, glimmered blue and green, peaceful and unarmed. It had applied for membership in the Concord. The Concord had rejected the application. Then they had discovered the planet's rare hyperconductive mineral reserves. Rejection had turned into annexation. Annexation had turned into ultimatum. Surrender the system peacefully or face eradication. The human response had been brief. "We will not abandon our people." And now, one ship. Keltharan narrowed his eyes. "Open communication," he ordered. The projection shifted. The image of the human vessel zoomed inward, focusing on a forward viewport where interior lights glowed warm against the void. Static rippled. Then a figure appeared. A human male, dark uniform, silver insignia on his collar, short hair, calm expression. "Galactic Concord Fleet, this is Captain Elias Ward of the Terran Union ship Resolute. We acknowledge your presence." No trembling, no visible fear. Viral's translator rendered his words with flawless clarity. Keltharan spoke. "You stand alone, Captain Ward. Our fleet numbers in the hundreds. Your colony world is surrounded. Withdraw your claim and evacuate your personnel. Further resistance will result in total planetary neutralization." A pause. Not long, just enough to imply thought. "That won't be necessary," Ward replied. The atmosphere of the chamber tightened. "You misunderstand," Kelthoran said. "You cannot win." Ward's eyes flicked slightly, likely reading data off-screen. "We didn't come to win." The statement sent a ripple through the assembly. Kelthoran's mantle chimed sharply. "Clarify." "We came," Ward said, "to demonstrate." The hologram flickered. New telemetry data began flooding Concord tactical displays. Energy readings spiked along the Resolute spine. Charging sequence detected. Unknown configuration. Output exceeding cruiser-class norms. "Interception formation," Kelthoran snapped. The nearest destroyers surged forward, engines blazing in synchronized arcs. From a distance, the human vessel seemed absurdly small against the advancing wall of ships. 312 against 1, a statistical inevitability. And yet, something about the human ship felt anchored. It did not retreat, it did not maneuver, it simply held position. "Captain Ward," Viral interjected urgently, "power down your weapons immediately. You are escalating beyond recovery." Ward's gaze returned to the projection. "With respect, Ambassador," he said quietly, "we escalated when you threatened civilians." The forward spine of the Resolute glowed. Not with plasma, not with charged particles, with gravity. Space itself began to distort along the weapon's length. Stars behind it bent inward, smeared like paint dragged across glass. "Gravitational compression field detected," the Overseer shouted sharply. "Magnitude—" The rest of his sentence vanished in static. The human ship fired. There was no beam, no projectile, no explosion. For a fraction of a second, nothing happened. Then the leading Concord destroyer vanished. Not shattered, not vaporized. It collapsed. Its structure folded inward as if crushed by an invisible fist the size of a moon. Armor imploded, internal reactors compressed beyond critical density. Then it was gone. The surrounding ships recoiled, shields flaring. Kelthoran's mantle went silent. "Report!" "Destroyer Kethval destroyed. No debris field, no radiation bloom. It was compressed into a singularity fragment and dissipated." Silence swept the chamber. The human ship remained stationary. Energy readings along its spine began rising again. "They cannot sustain that output," Viral said, whispering. But the tactical displays disagreed. The Resolute's reactors were stable, output levels increasing. "Full barrage," Kelthoran ordered. Hundreds of Concord vessels unleashed coordinated fire. Lances of coherent light, plasma arcs, kinetic rail slugs, exotic matter streams. The void lit up like a newborn star. The human ship disappeared in the storm. For 3 long seconds, nothing could be seen but the fury of concentrated annihilation. Then, the barrage parted. The Resolute was still there. Shields shimmered faintly, not elegant, not refined, just thick, layered, brute force energy barriers stacked on top of armored plating. Scarred, but intact. Ward appeared on the projection. "You expected a fleet," he said calmly. Another surge of energy built along the Resolute spine. "We sent 1 ship." The second shot tore through the center of the Concord formation. 5 ships vanished this time. Not destroyed, erased. Space buckled in their wake, gravitational shockwaves rippling outward and disrupting shield harmonics across dozens of vessels. Panic spread through the fleet. Formation cohesion fractured. "They are targeting command vessels," the Overseer cried. Indeed they were. The gravitational lance had carved a direct path towards the fleet's central coordination cluster. Not random, not desperate, precise. Kelthoran felt something unfamiliar tightening within him. Uncertainty. "Why?" he demanded aloud, though Ward could not hear him. As if in answer, the human captain spoke again. "This is a message." Behind him, on the human bridge, crew members moved with calm efficiency. No shouting, no chaos, just disciplined focus. "We do not need to match you ship by ship. We do not need to outnumber you." The 3rd charge cycle began. "We only need you to understand." The Concord fleet hesitated. just for a heartbeat. That hesitation cost them. The third shot did not aim at ships. It struck empty space between them, and space broke. A micro-singularity erupted, not stable, not natural, an artificial gravitational storm that expanded outward in a spiraling wave. Concord vessels were flung off course, shields destabilizing under tidal forces beyond their design thresholds. Entire squadrons scattered, hundreds of millions of tons of warships spinning helplessly in distorted space-time currents. The human ship remained at the eye of the storm, unmoved, unshaken. One ship. Kelthoran's voice was hoarse. "Cease fire," Kelthoran ordered. Reluctantly, the barrage ended. The gravitational storm dissipated, leaving a fleet in disarray. Losses scrolled on tactical